I'm a killer, bring it back.
Greetings, Earthlings. How you doing? I hope you're having a great week. Welcome to another episode of Guys We Loved.
It's the anti-bad girl shaming podcast. I'm Corinne Fisher.
I'm Krystyna Hutchinson.
Welcome to the show. Thank you so much to everyone who listened to our emergency episode regarding the alleged wink wink domestic violence dispute going on between Luana Mancuso and her soon to be ex-husband Mark Harley. I just wanted to quickly, thanks to everyone who reached out and shared the episode. Shout out to Ask Aubrey. Ask Aubrey for resharing a bunch. And Luana has a GoFundMe out because a lot of you guys messaged and said, is there a way that we can help donate? And she has been doxxed, so she does need to move. Also, the place that she's staying is the residence that she shared with her estranged husband. So obviously not a safe space. And then she'll have to, has all kinds of legal fees for all the different types of attorneys, immigration, crime, all these kinds of fees that she has to pay. So there is a GoFundMe finally set up. It said, most of you have been following my friend Luana Mancuso's public separation from her very abusive micro-influencer and podcaster husband, Mark Harley. She's insanely grateful for all the support she has been receiving. The biggest hurdles are yet to come, paying for legal fees. She's retained an amazing divorce attorney to help her fight Mark's claim to alimony from her. He has no job, no income, no savings, and will come after her financially. The average California divorce costs $17,500. He's also threatened her immigration status, which is why she has to retain an immigration attorney and also a criminal defense attorney because Mark has promised legal action with the videos he has of her. Damn. He's been trying to paint her as an abuser for many years. He's also leaked her address to people and she no longer feels safe living in her apartment. He is a very vindictive person and will do anything he can to get back at her for exposing him. We don't doubt for a second that he'll manipulate people to come hurt her or take her cats, which is a big thing that's going on too. So they have to ask the public on her behalf to help cover these costs. That's from her friend Nina.
Certainly a cause worth donating for.
So anyway, we'll put the link to this in the episode description and everything. But if anyone has money to share, because I know a lot of you kind of did organically reach out and ask if there was a place to donate money. And at the time, I didn't have that. But over the weekend, she did create that because this just keeps blowing up. He keeps posting new things and doing podcast appearances and creating this, making this into a real circus.
Yeah, he didn't really say anything when I know we didn't tag him, but he didn't.
I know. I feel like that's not a good sign though.
I know.
But anyway, we'll fight whatever needs to be fought.
Yeah. Yep. I was like, I know that there's going to be people saying shit that's going to spark my rage when we post these videos. And sure enough, there's a couple men, going like in a nutshell, why are you wasting my time with this? And oh man, I tried to not lose it, but my losing it has gone down these days. Luckily, gone down a few levels because my anger is subsiding just 10%. But yeah, it was hard. It was hard.
I would say overall, honestly, I was pretty pleased with the reaction. Most from men and women because this guy. It's hard to feel empathy for this dude because he's so unlikable
in every way.
That being said, I think I was like most disappointed in like that there wasn't more of a reaction. I think in the world that we live in, people, and we were talking about this before we started recording today, I don't think more bad things happen today, but I think that we see so many bad things because of the development of technology that we become kind of immune to them. We're like, oh, another bad thing's happening. And I think we've all experienced so much, like we've all probably experienced like a tumultuous relationship. And so it's hard for us to almost find the difference between, abusive and just bad relationships. So people are like, oh, well, this is kind of what, people's views are kind of like, oh, this is what happens when you get into a relationship. Sometimes you get into like really bad fights and then you shit on each other publicly. But this is like so far beyond that. And I think that we have been desensitized to situations like this. And again, we're all, kind of all of society is looking for the perfect victim, and you can keep looking because you're never going to find him or her. And so if you're looking for a perfect victim to make yourself want to help someone else, you're going to live a life where you never help someone else.
Yeah.
And so that's what I kind of found disheartening. This kind of conversation, and it definitely did start, or get reinvigorated during the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. It's like, oh, well, they're both crazy. It's like, you're smarter than that. Look at this a little bit with a, some kind of a deciphering eye.
Yeah, and don't oversimplify it. Yeah, one of the common messages I got was just from people who have been in domestic violence situations with their spouse, and there's just so many women getting murdered, guys.
Yeah,
a lot of women and their children getting murdered by their boyfriends or their husbands. And it's like that. We gotta be less desensitized to that. I don't know. But it's like, sometimes it does feel exhausting when you're overstimulated, which is all the awful things that are happening in the world. So it's like striking a balance is important. But, I'm glad there's a GoFundMe link out, because it's like, oh, what's something I can do that's going to help? Because financial independence and also the ability to retain, good legal representation without having to worry if you're going to be able to, fucking feed yourself the next day.
Right.
That's a huge help.
And I mean, Mark has gone on to kind of make a joke about this. He deadlifts, and he was like, calling himself Mr. Deadlift a Car. If you guys don't,
in that video,
the original video that kind of started all this was of him, shaking her car and messing up her side view mirror. And so to then turn an alleged domestic violence situation into a way to get more people to buy like your fucking whatever human growth hormone or whatever the fuck you're on.
Selling shit?
Yeah, no, he was like literally using the fact that he could deadlift a car to get more people to use his code to buy his, the energy drink or whatever, who's sponsoring him. And you guys should be ashamed for still sponsoring him.
Yeah, I was going to say, that company's disgusting. Ugh.
Of course. Yeah, so that's continuing to go on. And, because things like domestic violence are so poorly handled in actual courts in America, that's why this stuff has to spill out into the court of the public opinion.
Yeah.
It's like people are like, oh, you should handle this privately. It's like, I think people would handle it privately if it was ever handled properly. If people, if when women, called the police because they're getting abused, if people could look into it, a little bit more in depth
and not arrest the woman, which is exactly what happened to Luana.
Yeah. And then also just, not wait until someone's dead or, unconscious in a hospital bed before offering help, which is what we see time and time again. There's always, every single time there's been a warning sign, before the women die in domestic violence situations, that something bad is going to happen, but we just like to wait until it's too late.
Yeah.
And so I felt like we can't do that anymore. But yeah, thank you to anyone who will watch.
Yeah, and make sure you donate if you have the means to donate to that GoFundMe. Please donate to it. If you want to write us an email, that email address is sorryaboutlastnightshow@gmail.com. Today's subject line: just found out my dad isn't my dad.
Oh, perfect.
Hi, Corinne and Krystyna. Love you guys. Have been following the podcast for years, etc., etc. Best podcast there is. Thank you. Today I found out. Oh, today. Wow, you're on us fresh. Today I found out my dad isn't my biological dad, but rather my parents used a sperm donor. When my parents said they needed to come over to talk about something, my mind went to the worst case possible scenarios: cancer, death, etc. But to my sincere shock, at 30 years old, I was informed that my parents, who had always maintained that they initially had fertility issues but had kept trying and eventually it worked, had ultimately used a sperm donor, the same sperm donor to conceive myself and my younger brother. I never thought I'd be in this position. My dad has been the best dad I could have hoped for, and the fact that he's not the biological sperm provider does not change that. But also, what the fuck? I immediately thought of Krystyna. I know you've mentioned this on the podcast a bit, but I'm hoping for some insight or advice on anything, I guess. I feel like I'm in an existential mind fuck. There's so much cognitive dissonance. My husband and I have a daughter, still toddler age. I understand my parents not telling my brother and I until now, wanting us to mentally be able to process good support systems, et cetera. And honestly, who could have predicted 30 years ago that ancestry and DNA testing would be such a big thing nowadays, right? So I guess my question is, what the fuck do I do now? I love my parents. My dad is still my dad, but I also have so many questions and so few answers. There's no information about the biological sperm donor. Oh, that sucks. Other than he was a medical student who donated after being screened. This would have been during a time where there were paper records. My parents never knew anything about him or other than the screener info. No contact, no follow-up or anything. Jesus. I have so many thoughts about the bless you, Michael. I have so many thoughts about the biological genes and traits that I once attributed to my dad. Yeah, that was a mindfuck for me. That now can only be attributed to this non-existent person out there. Any advice would be truly appreciated. Love you both. Thank you for your honesty. So yeah, if you're not familiar, guys, I found out one thing I will say about your parents. That's good on them. They fucking told you before you found out. That's nice. That to me is respectful. I didn't really have that luxury. I did a 23andMe test and then all these people said that they were my half sibling. And then I called my mom thinking it was a joke and I filmed it. And she said that there was in fact a sperm donor. It is a mindfuck, but I don't think there's anything to do about it. I freak out about a lot of things that have happened to me, but that one, I was like, oh, that's fucking, I kind of thought it was cool. It's weird to think that you're biologically related to somebody that you're not. It's a mindfuck because there's certain things like my stupid shit, but like the palms of my hands sometimes peel. And that always happened to my dad who raised me. And I was like, wait, we can't be not related. My palms peel like my dad's, but nope, he's not my biological father. But I would say the only thing that as the dust settled from when I found out about 3 years ago, I think it was, that's really kind of come to my personal mind is like, oh, wow, I've been writing the wrong medical information. Because when you go to a doctor's office, they ask for your mom's medical history and your dad's medical history. And I've been writing my dad's, but genetically, that's not the history that pertains to me. So that I was pissed. And I was pissed that they didn't have respect for me enough to tell me. That was fucked up. But your parents did. And that's really great. I don't really think there's much else to do from here other than just getting used to it. It's just something that, and you're obviously your dad. And I felt this way too. I'm like, my dad's still my dad. He raised me like he was genetically related to me. So you can't really ask for anything different other than, I personally wish that they told me before I found out. That would have been really nice. But my parents aren't those kind of people. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles. So I would say, what the fuck do you do now? You just exist and you enjoy your kid and you enjoy your family. And if you could find out information, I would say take a 23andMe test or one of those types of tests because you could find out if that donor had kids of his own. That's how I was connected with my sperm donor's actual daughter that was biologically his, but that also he raised. And then potentially if that child is interested in giving you information, they could, but they might not want to fucking say anything to you. So there's this option that you can click when you do 23andMe that will allow DNA relatives to contact you if they surface. I clicked that option because my mom was adopted. So that's where I was thinking, oh, maybe we'll find some cousins, biological cousins I, didn't know existed. And then I found out all that other stuff. So I would say it's worth doing one of those. And then you do learn about your DNA on your paternal side. So that's cool. But other than that, it's just a weird little mindfuck, a fun little detail about your life. I felt, if anything, when I first found out, I was like, ooh, I'm like a little alien. And your parents went out of their way to have you. It was more than just your dad going, into your mom, they had to pay money, they had to invest their time. So one of the things that I took away was like, wow, they really wanted you to be on this planet. And that's kind of nice. Other than that, there ain't much else to it. I gotta be real. Yeah, it just is a mind fuck with for me, just no emotional either way, So
I think it's, they did tell her, but I'm like 30 that's
a little late,
yeah. Especially because they already have a child. So I think it's like before you start, extending that bloodline, was there anything that I needed to know medically about the other things or, you know, and that includes physical and mental health, I think. I mean, because I think those things should play into whether or not you decide to procreate. For most people, I don't think I think they don't, but I think that's honestly pretty neglectful.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're like, he's the best dad I could have asked for. It's like, they've made up a full lie and told you. That feels like not the best
That's
dad.
a bummer. Yeah.
I don't want to change your opinion on your dad. It's much better for you to like your dad and your mom than to not, but for your own, just the sake of your own mental health. But it feels like you're being a little lenient on that.
Me or the writer?
No, the writer.
Yeah. I mean, what do you do? Like, what do you do though? Just say like, okay, I just you for not telling me. Well, not fuck you, but
yeah, yes, 100%. I think it was dangerous that they didn't tell her.
Yeah.
30 years old is way too old. And also, like, anyone I know who was adopted or anything like this and was told since they were a child, children can handle that information. And in fact, I think a lot better than adults. Like, I remember one of my close friends in grammar school was adopted. We all knew he was adopted. It wasn't weird and it was great. And it was fine. It was just a thing about him. Just a thing about him that everyone knew and he knew, and no one got treated differently. It was just like, it was always a part of it.
It was a cool little fun quirk.
Yeah.
Yeah, kids can't handle shit much better than adults, I gotta say.
I think the reason, you're not is so that because it's the parents' insecurity, like being, them, maybe you'll treat me differently if you know that, like, not your real dad or something. But so I just think that's like kind of a little fucked up on their part. 30 is a little old.
Yeah. I remember one of my half siblings was like, she knew from when she was born that she was a sperm donor baby, but her mom was a single mom.
Right.
So there was no dad. And so she just kind of she was like, well, I'll just take this opportunity to say, where's my daddy? Well, your daddy was a sperm donor. And so he's not here. Yeah, I mean, it would be nice if parents had respect enough for their children to know that they can handle certain information.
Well, I also just think it's like, I mean, you're making this like huge decision for the child already by bringing them into the world without their consent. Quite honestly, we don't talk about that enough. I think about it almost every single day of my fucking life. Like,
you didn't ask to be born.
I did not ask to be here.
It is weird.
And then when you take it one step further, that all this, I didn't ask to be here, and then the same people who didn't ask me if I wanted to be here ask all this fucking shit of me to achieve all these things and do all these whatever things. And like, I am not personally mad at like my parents, but as a concept, when you really break it down, it's fucking insane.
It is wild.
It's fucking crazy.
Well, I mean, back in the
all
day,
the chores you had to do as a kid.
Like, you go, I didn't want to fucking be here.
Raised a little worker bee, huh?
we live in modern times, but there was a time in history where people had children because they needed to work the farm.
For sure.
For
sure.
So you're not your own person.
So you're literally born into life to be like a servant.
Indentured servant.
Well, and I think that's now happening emotionally for parents. Like, I'm going to fucking have a kid so that kid will worship me and I'll be good in somebody's eyes. And
yeah, the amount of people who are just like, I just love that unconditional love. Adopt a dog, you psychopath.
Yeah.
If that's the reason you're having a kid.
and you're saving each other. You're saving the dog.
Lord
Needs a home.
almighty. You can get a guinea pig or something. I don't think people talk enough about how many guinea pigs are discarded. It's a real problem.
Really?
Yeah, rabbits too.
God.
Yeah, we
I
concentrate
love
kind
guinea
of on
pigs.
dogs and then cats, but there's a lot of other animals. Like if that's too much for you, that you can adopt that desperately need to be adopted.
Oh, that's good to know. I feel like guinea pigs, well, I'd have to look into it, but I imagine they're like certainly much more low maintenance than a dog. Oh,
Yeah, you can like leave a guinea pig like for like a week alone.
Really?
Yeah.
just leave them like a little bowl of nuts or something.
Lettuce and feed. Yeah. I mean, you have to make sure that it's like
some Googling
temperature
before you do
controlled. You should probably tell a neighbor to go in and check on them. But you can leave a cat alone for a couple days too.
Right. You just put the litter out in the food and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, guinea pig. I wonder if Kevin would like a guinea pig.
Yeah, guinea pigs are cute.
Guinea pigs are so cute. I didn't know that. Is there just like a
You
surplus?
just have to check because you have allergies a lot. They're very allergy-ish. You have to make sure if you're not going to be allergic to them because we had guinea pigs growing up, but then my mom was pretty allergic to them.
Oh, damn. And I love rabbits. I had rabbits growing up.
Yeah.
But I feel like Kevin Dachshunds were made to hunt ferrets or something like that. That's why they were bred so their bodies are so long.
Foxes?
Yeah, they were made to like go like deep down in like holes, like burrowed holes, like a rabbit, like a rabbit hole. That's why their bodies are long. I remember looking that up when I got Kevin. So yeah, just gotta make sure Kevin's not gonna have a
snack,
a little picnic,
midnight snack
with my new friend. I come home to a fucking bloody scene. That would ruin me. Yeah. Okay. Oh, guys, come see us live. We're going to go places. Boston, Massachusetts, April 14th and 15th. I'm in Edmonton, Canada, April 20th through the 22nd. I'm at Detroit, House of Comedy, April 28th and 29th. Philadelphia, I'm recording a stand-up comedy album at Helium Comedy Club, one of my favorite places to do comedy, May 11th, 12th, and 13th. All those ticket links can be found at KrystynaHutchinson.com. I also do a Patreon where up to 4 times a month, just for if you pay $5 a month, you can Zoom with me and a bunch of people, and we're just talking about shit. Basically, it's like kind of an advice circle. Like if you got an issue and you're like, I got to talk this out, I don't really know what's going on. I'm really good at giving advice. And then a lot of resources are shared in these Zooms that we do, and I really like them. So if you want to sign up, it's $5, patreon.com/Krystyna Hutchinson.
And then, of course, Dublin, Ireland. So this is coming out to Luminary subscribers this Friday. So if you guys are in Ireland, the chance is low, I would say. But
I live there.
Monday, April 3rd, I am playing at Whelan's in Dublin. Tickets are already over half sold out. So make sure to get that. Tickets are available at CorinneFisher.com. I'll be doing stand-up comedy. And then my best friend, Dr. Thomas Whitfield, real licensed therapist, will also be helping to give me some advice at the end of the show. So make sure to get tickets for that. And if you are interested in hearing the news broken down in a comedic and also concise way, which I feel like the reason so many people watch Fox News or listen to Fox News is because they make it really easy to understand what's happening, even if they have their own bias on it. So I try to do the same thing but with both liberal and conservative news sources. Just break it down. If you've ever tried to like read a New York Times article or a Washington Post article on the run, you're like, this is too much. I break it down for you. I make it super simple, and we make some jokes along the way. So listen to Without a Country, that comes out every Wednesday on YouTube and full audio everywhere that you listen to podcasts. All right. Oh, so Krystyna and we went to see the podcast's favorite band, Third Eye Blind.
Yeah, so cool. It's the best. We've seen them thrice. That was the best show.
Thrice. Yeah.
That was the best show by far. It was so good.
It was great. We went to the Wellmont in Montclair, New Jersey. What? Shout out.
Represent.
So many people I knew were there. My other best friend was randomly there. And it was very exciting because, Paula was there. And she texted me right as the show was wrapping up because they played for like over 2 hours. And she says to me, she was like, I was just very randomly at a Third Eye Blind concert in Montclair, and this is on Stephen Jenkins' Wikipedia. And first of all, I was freaking out that my best friend was there and I didn't even know she was there. So I'm calling her. But then we look at the screenshot that Paula sent, and it was added to Stephen Jenkins' Wikipedia in a 2022 interview on the podcast Guys We Fucked. Jenkins stated that, quote, touring is bad for you, noting he hated how he looked on tour in the 2020 short film Motorcycle Drive-By. So Guys We Fucked officially in the Wikipedia for Stephen Jenkins. This is so thrilling.
Wait, it was so cool to watch them perform for over 2 hours. It was such a great show. And then Paula texted her that. We're reading it. I'm like, what are we looking for? At first, I thought she was like, there was like something about Hillary Clinton in there. I was like, oh, is that it? And she goes, oh, Guys We Fucked. And we just looked at each other and we're like,
we're just screaming.
So cool.
And then as we're screaming, a guy who was doing
PBS.
videography for them was like, is that Corinne Fisher? And then Krystyna's like, and it's me.
Yeah. Well, I thought he knew you from high school because we were in your high school area.
There was a lot of people who did also know me from high school, and that is its own kind of celebrity. Yeah. So I also appreciate that. But yeah, it was so Jersey. There were so many levels of like people knowing us knowing other people, our other friends being there. It was crazy. And then of course Stephen came out at the end, said hello to us, has been following Krystyna's Instagram stories.
I feel so cool. I still can't get over it.
He said, oh, you've been traveling, Krystyna.
Stephen, I went to Canada. You saw it. Oh man.
But yeah.
I won't get over that for a while.
There's not, I mean, like, I think one of the coolest things about being any kind of like even low level of like celebrity is getting to meet your favorite celebrities or like people that you listened to growing up or and somehow impacted your artistic life or your emotional life or your development. So it is very exciting.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, it's just like
I will say though,
cool.
Jersey crowds are not aggressive about being in the front of a stage. Like I honestly, one of the most shocking things at that concert was when we tried to move up front and this fucking woman was blocking us from like going in front of her when there was clearly space.
Yeah, it's like,
if it's standing room only, I'm gonna get as far up as I can.
You move up or we go ahead of you. Those are your two choices. Like if she had just moved up more, I go, okay, great, you were here first.
And then
it was because of the age though. It's not, New Jersey is out of fucking control, but it's like, it's because everyone who listens to Third Eye Blind is like
older,
40 and they're getting slow and they need space around them. So that's what it is. Like anytime I just like go to concerts where the average age is lower, the pushing kind of stops. But the pushing is like, I don't want to be actually physically pushed, but like, you can't be leaving big gaps at a concert, guys. This is concert etiquette 101. Come on. If it's standing room, you have to use all space available or stand back.
Yeah. Or don't get mad at me when I try to get in front of you.
Yeah. If I'm at a concert for a person that I don't feel like very excited about, and I'm just kind of there for the experience, I stand in the back. Yeah. And I let the people who really love them stand in the front.
That's etiquette.
I'm just here to kind of get the vibe.
Yeah.
And then if it's someone I love, front row.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah. And then the woman, I don't know if you heard that, she was like talking about us. Like they tried to get in front and then I moved and then I'm like,
welcome to New Jersey.
Yeah,
baby.
I was.
That's the way it is.
You know,
I was so happy to be there that I didn't even budge. I give one of these like I'll look at them like, what the fuck you say, bitch?
I just let them talk. I'm not trying to start. I'm not trying to start a fight at a concert because then you have to stand by them the whole time.
Yeah. That would normally. I want to take an anger management class because lately my temper has been a little sharp. And it's been getting stoked by the dumbest shit. Well, mainly by like men not caring that women are dying at the hands of men. But, which is dumb. But, it's hard to communicate. I always think of what Nadine Strawson said when we interviewed her, I think the second time she was on, about how, when you're in a proper debate with etiquette and rules, one of the things that can make you win is if you don't show the emotion.
Well, especially if you're a woman, I'm sure that really works against you. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like your temper is getting hotter because you have a boyfriend? Because that's when my temper gets hotter. Really pushes it.
Oh, really? He never pushes my buttons. Honestly, I've not dated somebody that doesn't like annoy me. Mm-hmm. I don't think ever. He just doesn't. He's very like, if I feel a little bit of like tension, we just kind of separate naturally. So it's not. I don't think so. It's. I don't know. I'm like, ooh, well. So we have time. Yeah. I think I shared this on a bonus episode where I talked to a psychic and she basically told me I was molested as a kid. This was like about a year and a half ago, and I was like, wait, what? She said there was a boundary violation. I'm like, I know what that means. Are you implying that I was molested? Well, it wasn't right. And so I had another reading with somebody for my news show, Wait What, where we did an Akashic Records reading, and I was like, what do I need to know? And she was like, she was alluding to a bunch of stuff, and then she kind of was like, we shouldn't be doing this on camera. And I was like, oh, a word? So we had a private reading the next day over the phone. And
and you had not had that yet when we were going into Third Eye Blind.
Because I was telling Corinne about it leading up, and I was like, oh, tomorrow I'm going to find out. Was I molested? But basically, she took me back to 3 instances of 3 separate people that were like, she described what happened. One of them was with potentially a family member-ish. And then the other 2 were with people that were not related to me, but that were around me as kids.
So this was in this lifetime though.
Yeah. Because I was like, I want to get, honestly, anything that's holding me back. But I'm like, oh, okay. And so she basically alluded to, and this was the first person wasn't a psychic. She was technically a medical medium. They both alluded to a very similar type of instance where a grown man took his penis out when I was like 6, and but there was no like penetration or touching of my like genitals. But I was like, I gotta be honest. I think I'm in a fortunate position, fortunately or unfortunately, where I'm very comfortable talking about being molested, sexual assault, all that stuff, because I know how often it happens. I know so many people in my life that are close to me who've had these things happen. We've just talked about it ad nauseum on the podcast, which is great. So I'm really comfortable, and I understand that, if something bad happened, like I can handle it. But after that reading, I'm like, I'm not upset. Is that weird? Like I don't really.
If it's just some dude showed you his dick when you were 6.
Yeah, I'm like, how can that really
rock and roll?
Yeah. I'm like, honestly, I was like, wait, that's it? Is that it? But I asked her, I'm like,
I love the response to you being like sexually harassed as a child, being like, that's all you got for me, bitch.
You just go take out that dong and walk away. I mean, good, but
it
also
is kind of like, it's like, that guy's not good in bed,
right. Well, and I asked her, I'm like, respectfully, it doesn't, that didn't scar me. And then one of the things she said,
respectfully, like this is what's coming through the Akashic records.
Right.
Well, what more you got for me?
This moment must be some type of importance for this to be coming through, but I gotta be honest.
That's why you're the co-host of the Guys We Fuck podcast. I'll say it's important. It's history in the making.
But I gotta be honest.
So we gotta find that guy and thank him.
That doesn't bum me. There's no look. If strong emotions come up, your girl ain't afraid to cry or feel them at all. I'll cry on the drop of a dime if I feel it.
That's good merch for you. Not afraid to cry.
Yeah,
just on a white T-shirt,
boldly crying in public. But I'm like, did that a guy taking his penis? I mean, obviously. It's a kid can't understand the gravity of that. I can't imagine a kid could go, everything's great. Like I had to have felt something was weird or wrong or uncomfortable. Yeah. But can that really fuck you up? And I've heard this story. I've heard this kind of narrative being pushed by a lot of people I follow and read, and that you kind of unlock these moments where they don't have to be necessarily the most traumatic thing that's ever happened to you, but unlocking them can kind of get you closer to stepping into your own power. And if you have psychic abilities, for example, which that's all I'm trying to get from this shit. So I'm like, I'll relive shit. I don't care.
Right.
If it makes me psychic, sign me up. But yeah, she's like, these little tiny moments, they don't seem maybe as an adult and you understand the gravity of all these awful things that can happen to a person in their lifetime. Maybe they don't seem big in the scope of things, but they can unlock things in you. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, should I be, I know I shouldn't be crying because my reaction is whatever it is, but I'm like, I'm not, it didn't affect me that much, but I am going to do hypnotherapy. So that's the next step because just kind of unlocking a memory. If there's any emotion attached to it, okay, let's feel it, get it up, and then I could talk to ghosts after that.
Listen, I believe it. I mean, when I was, I don't know, maybe 12 or something, an autistic adult said I was sexy in the Warner Brothers store, and that bothered me for years.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, stuff like that. I think...
The one in Woodbridge?
That was your question?
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
Because,
I remember that
the
store.
color tap thing.
Yeah,
I was obsessed with that color game, and that guy ruined the game for me. And listen, I now, even at the time, I knew that something was off, but it was the having a person in an adult body, even though I know mentally he was not adult, use the word sexy specifically. I think even if he had said I was pretty, that would have been fine. But I was too young to be called sexy.
Oh yeah.
And it really felt very violating.
Right.
And I knew had it been just a regular adult, I would have said something, but I knew that that person also didn't know the gravity of his words. So I was maybe someone should be with this guy. Maybe he shouldn't just be in the WB store, but okay. Calling kids sexy,
Yeah.
Maybe you should fire him or talk to him at the very least.
Maybe someone could get that guy. He wasn't an employee. Yeah, he was just he was just there. And I was listen, we have something in common. We both love WB characters.
Right. And they had a little rocket ship.
And
that was where the color game was.
But
right?
you shouldn't be telling me that.
Sexy, but yeah. And I was just I just remember in the moment, there will be several moments in one's childhood where childhood is slowly stripped away from you.
Sure.
And it's you are kind of grieving childhood in that moment because once you're called sexy, there's no going back. A demon is unleashed.
Right. That's right.
You're I'm sexy.
All of a sudden you're touching your leg and you're
I am sexy.
It's the floor show and Rocky Horror Picture Show and you're just ooh. They
fishnet.
help me, mommy.
Yeah.
That's true. That's a good point.
So-
Like
Now you're a woman.
Right.
That-
yeah.
yeah.
And it did feel like that. And I remember there was a couple things, that, including getting my period, that just felt like, yeah, it's like, I wasn't done being a
kid.
child, and this came so fast, and I'm kind of bummed. It's like when it's like when you start working too early. It's like when you get a job when you're like, fucking 12 years old or something, and you're like,
Yes.
this shouldn't have been.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I know some people need to, but
That's
it's also,
true.
well, your parents should have thought that out financially.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's a good example to bring up, because then I'm like, okay, if you think of like a 6-year-old child being shown a grown man's penis, yeah, that's gonna leave a mark even if you don't understand what's happening.
Yeah, like
even
I never
if nothing
cried
touched
over
you.
it. It's not
Right.
like something I've ever discussed in therapy. I think I've maybe mentioned it once before here.
Yeah.
But it is something that has like, oddly, there are so few things that I think about that like bother me. But like that's one that always bothered me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's so weird because it is, in the big scheme of things, rather insignificant, but obviously there was something about it that was not insignificant for me. And
course.
I think it's more about like the moment and what it meant than the actual interaction.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of did. And I was also like, I was with my little brother, and you're just like,
Yeah.
you made one of the last few childlike fun spaces for me feel unsafe and
Yeah.
not fun.
I see.
But then I also didn't have like the relief of being able to be mad at him, because I knew that there was something
Going on with
what's the what are you
developmentally with him.
yeah, there was another word I was trying to use, cognitively different
I
about
see.
him, but so that's what it was.
Yeah. I was being when she told me the 3 incidences, I was like, well, the first one was the most fucked up one that I thought. But then the second one,
Penis reveal?
No, that was the first. No, penis reveal was the second one.
Oh, okay.
The first one was a little fucked up, but I was so young. She was like, you were like six months. I'm like,
Right.
Jesus Christ. But then the other one, she said it was when I was in middle school, and I was like, oh, was it with that teacher I was in love with? And it's like, you were in an auditorium, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, wait, did he? But then I'm like, I was in love with him. I would have been happy that happened, even though I know it was wrong. But I was like so in love with him. I was like, oh shit, did I like something happened and I blocked it out? Who knows? But that's why I'm going to do hypnotherapy and see. You got to dive right in, baby.
Does this person also do the hypnotherapy, or is there someone else?
No, someone else. She recommended me to somebody else that's like really, really well versed in it. And I've never been. I don't think hypnotize isn't the right like word for it, but I've never had hypnotherapy before.
I've never been under the spell.
Yeah, I mean, I've been under a lot of spells, but
I only know people who used hypnotherapy for cigarette smoking, like to stop cigarette smoking.
Yeah, she used it for that too.
Not as a revelation, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. TBD, baby. How are you?
Exciting. Well, yeah, I mean, that's, you know what I wanted to talk about in addition? So this is like a small thing, but so Emily, say her last name for me because I never say it right.
Ratajkowski.
Emily Ratajkowski and Harry Styles, they were caught smooching over the weekend in Tokyo, right? It was Tokyo?
Yes.
Yeah. And so, of course, that's been all over because everyone loves, who those two are smooching. My first thought was like, oh, poor Eric Andre. Him and Emily were just together.
Oh, really?
They had like a Valentine's Day post together.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, ugh, guess she's moved on. But, that's her free will. Do what you want. Follow your free spirit, Emily.
I thought she was with Pete Davidson.
She was. That was before Eric Andre. Keep up. Come on, Michael. This is like 2 weeks ago.
When you're a hot woman in the world and everyone wants to fuck you, you just go, you next, then you.
You just go to
and then we're going to fuck you.
It made me laugh in my head because I go, guess she's got her fill of funny guy.
Yeah, right. That's over.
Guess those jokes are done.
Personality can only get you so far.
And then you go, you know what? Harry is funnier than I thought he was.
Right. Yeah.
Harry is, when you ever look at someone's abs and you go, they're funnier than I thought it was. It was actually my bad. They're
You're
actually
so much more stable than my other boyfriends.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so sexy.
Can you
Harry.
imagine like having only dated like regular people before and then date Pete Davidson and Eric Andre and you go,
Yeah.
what a nightmare.
Get me out of here.
Oh, you're a regular.
So funny. Okay. So Chicks in the Office, I love that podcast, and they posted on their Instagram a picture of Emily and Harry smooching, and they were like, Harry loves a MILF, and it just rubbed me the wrong way. See, that's
Really?
that's MILF. Okay, that's the right reaction.
What the fuck?
And so I commented.
How old is she?
Yes.
Doesn't even matter.
I commented, MILF, LOL, she's 2.5 years older than Harry Styles, which is accurate. Of course, I looked it up. You know, your girl.
Of course, yeah. Like the accurate info.
And then people start, replying to my comment, and they're like, MILF, like I'm some just like old biddy who doesn't understand internet slang. I do. Okay, I keep it real. No cap. And so people were like, oh, it just means they were like, acronyms are hard. It just means mom, I'd like to fuck. And I was like, bitch, I know what MILF means, you fucking morons. I was like, my commentary is based. They were like, maybe you're confusing it with cougar. And I'm like, bitch, I am a cougar. I'm not fucking confusing it with anything, you young, stupid whores. What?
But hold on though.
Yes.
This is a game change. She does have a child.
No, I know she has a child. This is not what the conversation is about. I know she's a child. The commentary about this is, yes, she is an actual mom. But I'm like, first of all, these people in the comments, obviously prudish and very unfamiliar with porn culture.
Right.
Because MILF, you certainly do not have to be a child. But for me, it's like, it's not the fact that she is or is not a mom. But the fact is, if she was a 22-year-old mom, they wouldn't be using the terminology MILF. And I think that it was extremely ageist, no matter what we're talking about as far as like the vernacular. Because and it's so funny because I'm like, oh, these people aren't seeing it in this light because the people replying to my comments are people younger than me, who have, a lot of time to be on the internet. But when you're, a late 30s comedian, you also have time to be on the internet. And so that's kind of what it is. And it was kind of like just inspired me to talk a little bit about like how ageism will creep up on you. And I think a lot of young people and most importantly, young women are like kind of complicit in it, and they don't realize until it's too late. So,
right. Until that power leaks out of you and you're like, where'd it go, power? I didn't say it could go away. And time was like, but I did.
Because when you're young, it's like almost fun to like, you're like, it's fun and a pastime to make fun of older women and to be young and to be said like, oh, you're so young and you're so cute. But it's like in a couple of years, you're going to be the one that the young girls are making fun of. And so it's like, just don't be so quick to kind of go on, get on board with that, because that's totally just like men tricking you into feeling important and worthwhile and valuable for a limited amount of time. So they can kind of woo you, scoop you up when you're young before, you get your ideas and your dreams, as we talked about so many times. But it's like, you're gonna be being called a MILF and a cougar one day. And I just thought it was very inappropriate because the age gap is so small. Like they wouldn't be calling a guy 2.5 years older a DILF. They just wouldn't. There is something that MILF, I understand as a mom, I'd like to fuck, but if you are believing that it has nothing to do with also being older, you're being tricked.
Kidding yourself.
You're being tricked.
It's a little too naive.
It's like a kitschy, fun way to introduce ageism into the lexicon earlier, quite frankly.
Also, too, when you think about like the amount of products for a woman's face that say anti-aging is if we're talking about being specific with words and vernacular, anti-aging, that's drilling into people's minds, men and women alike, that aging is bad. Our bodies are biologically designed to age and die. What are we talking about?
And even the fact that we're having this like a long conversation about how it's almost like a kink that Harry is willing to date a woman 2.5 years older than him.
Yeah.
There were like with him and Olivia Wilde, there was an actual like marked age gap where it was interesting.
Yeah.
But the same is like when I was dating my younger boyfriend, it's like the amount of time that went into talking about that compared to the times that I've dated men 10, 15 years older than me.
Shit.
And yeah, I mean, like they talked about it maybe a little bit, but I feel like I talked about it more. And it's like, it's also like now having lived years and like, still sometimes dating older men, still sometimes dating younger men. It's like we have been taught that these older men are more valuable for some reason. And there's not enough talk about that they're crusty.
Yeah.
And I would like to really introduce that as a topic.
Crusty ass bitch.
Because I just like, I'm
crusty
like,
old bitch.
Have you ever spent time with a 50-year-old guy? I have spent a lot of time with 50-year-old guys.
Look at the font size on their phone.
Yeah. Yeah, and
which is fine.
They're just
but,
like getting a free pass to aging.
Right.
I don't think aging should be frowned
You shouldn't
upon
shame the guys for
at
aging.
all.
Yeah.
But it's just hilarious to me that the conversation has for so long been focused on women. I mean, I think, majorly because of the age that you stop being able to have children at, so around 40. So that's when you're kind of expired, have nothing left to give on this planet.
Right. You're pointless if you're not a vessel.
But to somehow frame it that men are like a 50-year-old guy is like more valuable than like a 25-year-old guy. I think that's just incorrect, and that's a trick. Okay, because these 25-year-olds can fuck, and they have a whole future ahead of them. Whoever you are at 50, unless you're male Georgia O'Keeffe, that's pretty much who you're gonna be.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't. I would love to see a lot of 50-year-old men changing and blossoming, but I haven't yet. So prove me wrong.
Yeah, prove us wrong.
Prove me
Let's
wrong.
go.
I would love it. I would love it.
Let's go.
But yeah, that just made me laugh, and I was like, and for some reason, I was like, I can't get into a fucking internet fight about this. I was almost deleted my own comment.
MILF stands for mom. I like it.
But it just really, really bothered me.
Yeah.
The caption, I just was scrolling by. I go, what? Because I don't think Emily's that much older than him.
Yeah, she's
and I was
not.
right.
Yeah.
Fucking pissed me off. Stop with this shit.
Yeah. Let's cut this shit out.
Also,
We've
also become overly obsessed with the age gap now. Like, I agree that there was like a time when like fucking grown men were dating almost children and we were just letting it slide. But now it's gone too far. People having conversations about 6-7 year age gaps. Shut the fuck up and find a dick to put in your mouth, for the love of God. Insanity.
You know, it's not insane.
Today's guest.
Yeah, you did it. Okay, guys. Oh my God, I'm so excited for you to hear this conversation. Our guest today, she is a stand-up comedian. She's an actress. She's a producer. She's a philanthropist. She's also a comedy club owner, and she's also just a fucking badass. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Jiaoying Summers. Okay, we are here with stand-up comedian Jiaoying Summers. I'm very excited to have you on the show.
Hello.
You were just telling us how much you love having kids.
I know. I just like, stretch your vagina is kind of like, very good for you,
Stretching it out?
It's just, actually, I got lucky though. My vagina just
Right back.
Oh, I did not know that. I was not happy about having kids. It's gonna ruin my vagina.
It like blows up your pussy.
It didn't. It just went back. Bam. So I'm like,
good for you.
Yeah. So I felt like I don't deserve to be married anymore. So I divorced my husband. I deserve another chance. I deserve another chance.
How old were you when you had your kids?
I was 29 when I had the first one, and then I didn't learn from my mistakes, and I 31 I had another one.
Yeah. What? It's so funny because we were just talking about this off mic, but a lot of people that I know with kids are like, it's great. I'm like, this is a terrible advertisement for children. And you would mention like, they're just trying to rope you into being as miserable as they are, which is certainly a theory that I've thought about for a while. Is having kids worth it?
Well, they're gonna watch this, so I'm just gonna lie. It's worth it.
It's better to be honest. I do appreciate the parent that's like, my kid's a fucking asshole.
Yeah. My daughter, she's evil.
Oh shit.
My son, he's at this stage, he's in love with me. He thinks I'm beautiful. He's mommy, I love you. My daughter gave me the side eye.
Okay, how old is your daughter?
She's terrible too.
Oh, okay. Oh, she's
I said, Mom, she hate me. Mom was like, yeah, she hate you because I teach her how to hate you because I die one day. I don't want you to miss me too much.
Wow.
I want her to know how to hate you. Yeah.
That's very generous of you.
Yeah. Okay, so she's only 2. So she's, I guess 2-year-olds can be evil.
She's just like me. So there's no good in that person.
Are you an evil person?
I'm not evil, but the life has been so tough. So I had to be evil to protect myself and my boundaries. You know?
You got to have a wall. You got to feel safe.
Yeah. People just try to use you all the time.
Yeah. What have been the tough obstacles in your life that kind of stick out that are like, indicative of who you are today or your walls?
I think like, I was born in the 90s. There's a one-child policy. I wasn't wanted because I wasn't a boy. And
that's a hard way to start.
That's a fucking rough. And even if you could sense that as a baby, babies are so sensitive.
Yeah. I was supposed to be discarded and then they brought me back. But people ask me, how do you know that? As my mom would tell me every Tuesday. Like,
Your mom reminded you of that.
yeah, whenever I don't have an
Jesus.
A+, she tell me, I did not bring it back from the dumpster.
Are you
for 8
serious?
minutes. Oh yeah.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah,
Jackie.
if I don't listen to her, like I come home late, 6:30, you are 30 minutes late. I did not bring you back from the dumpster for you to be late. Come on.
That's kind of funny as like a stand-up
become
comedian,
funny,
like LOL.
eventually.
But then when you're the kid, that's
Yeah,
being
eventually
told
become
that.
funny because it had to be funny or you have to die. Like it's just have to be. Oh my god, those nails! Damn, I love the color. It's bright.
Yeah. I gotta.
I love it.
They're at the precipice of like they're gonna be bent back one day. I gotta cut them because they're growing out too much. Wait, that's fucked up. That's so fucked up.
It's really fucked up. So I really have
Shit.
very little sympathy when people tell me my mom traumatized me. She did not come to my ballet recital twice. I'm like,
yeah,
God.
that's nothing.
Yeah, I just that's why my sense of humor is very raunchy and tough because like, come on,
Well, you mentioned you had a brother.
younger brother, yeah.
Okay, so
Younger
so-
sister, younger brother. My mom keep having baby until there's a penis out. Like he,
She
yeah.
really.
But he's a lazy little shit. Yeah, because when you have a penis, you know how to do shit. Like they think, oh, you are born a boy, so you're just like you already
You're just
accomplished.
the blessed son.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So wait,
infuriating.
so how did your family get around the one child
My mom
policy?
just didn't give a fuck because she
Oh,
wasn't
she's-
afraid. She just gave up her house. They fined her so much money, and
Oh,
she
really?
just gave up her job, and she just kept having babies until she had a son.
Wow.
My mom is crazy.
Were you
Wow.
literally in a dumpster at one point though, or was it that
all-
it that close?
that close? That close. It's,
Holy
my father
shit.
was walking out, taking me out. My mom's like, bring her back. And
Wow,
she's like,
just
that's
a
my
change
baby.
of heart last minute.
That's my. I'm gonna keep her. She's ugly, but she's a fighter. You know.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah, they dropped me. You know, but I was crying.
Well, did you ever talk about it with your parents? Like,
Yeah.
like, hey, what? Can you just stop fucking saying that to me?
I was like, you should be reminded how lucky you are because your cousin.
You didn't ask to be born.
Chi-Chi
though.
died.
Oh,
Rest in peace, Chi
Yeah,
Chi.
she died at birth. You know. She,
oh, okay. Accidental or
that's like why can't you be like her? You know. I'm like, I wish. She doesn't hear this shit.
So for this one child policy,
Girl.
that like what is the protocol for getting rid of a daughter born?
You just you have baby at home. It's not recorded. It's not in the
Okay, so no
hospital.
one's documenting
And sometimes you can find a home for the baby baby girl who like some couples they cannot have kids.
Right.
They would just be like, I'm just gonna take a child even though it's a girl, and then
God, girls are just not born into the world with a welcoming attitude.
it's just so hard for women like
Yeah.
especially like for me to really fight for my boundaries. Like I was taught my whole life, my life was gifted to me, you know, like if
Jesus.
somebody's mad at me, I want to make sure I'm perfect. I do the best I can to make sure my parents are not disappointed.
Yeah.
And then also we are taught, you know, to just take care of men. So it's hard.
Right.
Oh my God.
I had a really hard marriage. My ex-husband is very, he's a narcissist, and it's very difficult for me because when there's no physical violence, you really don't understand.
Yeah.
They are bad for you because he'll be saying the same thing my mom said, like, oh, you look so fat, you know, like you lose
Holy
weight. You know, like
shit.
other people, they just have baby, they bounce back while you're still fat. And I'm like,
You just
then-
cooked a human being in your
then I'm
body.
eating rice. He'll take rice away from me. I'm like, oh, I should not be eating rice because I'm fat. Because like you
No, I
were
would be so
conditioned that
mad.
way. But then
Right.
I had an awakening. I'm like, fuck
I was gonna
that,
say, there's got to
fuck
be
that.
Yeah.
So I just think it's so important for girls to really build our boundaries. Just like,
Yeah.
fuck that shit. You know, I can
Yeah.
do better.
Are you still with that husband?
No, I'm done. My divorce was finalized on Friday.
So there was a moment.
Oh wow! Congratulations.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
and congrats.
so
Holy shit.
I woke
wow.
up with nothing, but I don't give a fuck.
You're a fucking warrior.
I'll be fine. Yeah.
Like the amount of social conditioning that was pitted against you from fucking jump. My God.
Yeah, I just whenever somebody says something that is just like I'm just be like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, right.
I don't buy
right.
that shit.
Well,
Yeah.
because there, you know, there's this. It sounds like there's this. Maybe you didn't know immediately. I mean, your mom fucking saying, "You're lucky you're here. You're lucky you're here," because we could have fucking thrown you out. Like that. You know that that's wrong innately as a child. But also, like the narcissistic husband, for example, that shit creeps up on you,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Wait a second, you sucked the whole time?" Like, and then you just get pissed.
Yeah.
Like, was there a moment where you just got like engulfed in your own rage?
I think I always try my best to not be a victim my
Yeah.
whole life, even though it was very hard for me. I really learned to not blame my parents for it, and I just really decided that I can write my own story. I can be whatever the fuck I want to be. And I really before I met my husband, I was kind of very powerful, and I was successful. I made good money, and I
Hell yeah.
found myself, my voice. I love everything about me, because also in China we have this very weird beauty standard. Like dark skin is ugly. The colorism is really, really hard.
Wow.
And I just was viewed as not attractive my whole life. But when I went to America, I found my skin color is also beautiful. All colors beautiful.
Yeah.
I literally actually was in love with who I am. That's why I was able to really doing well in my life. But then I met him. He's a Chinese man. So I met him in China, and at the beginning I'm like, oh my God. It's just like finally I got approval by somebody who's successful, who's very handsome, who is from my culture, to see me as I don't know. I didn't. And then it was just he wanted to control me, you know. The way he loved me, like I'm pretty sure some other girls who didn't want a career, who just okay with being home and not work. Because some people, they don't like to work. They just want to be taken care of. And if you say something nasty to them, they don't care.
Yeah. Just raise the kids,
some
which is
people
work.
Are like that. Yeah, there's work too. So I just can't do it. Like he didn't want me to work. And it just, the more I want to work, the more verbally abusive it became. And then I just really understand is like, I'd rather work 20 jobs than ask men for money.
Yeah. Yeah. Because your own independence financially, that's some power that cannot be taken away from you.
I just, it didn't work, you know, eventually. I'm like, I'm done.
That's amazing.
The only thing I want is the kids. I want the kids. I'll pay for everything. I'll pay for their life. And I just don't want you. So
what did he say?
He's very angry because
I was going to say that narcissistic rage.
They don't want you to leave with them. Now, he didn't love me, but he just want to make sure he dumped me.
His ego.
How long were you married?
Like over 3 years, or 4 years. 4 years.
Was he shocked when you were like,
he's very shocked. He didn't believe I was serious because
he was banking on you being too weak to leave.
Yeah, all the women in his life are like that because he has a lot of money. So it just it's easy when you don't work anymore. When you go back to work, it's like, oh my God. But I always love to work. I love
it's
to
empowering.
I love to create value, and I just think being a single mom is healthy for my daughter to see how strong I am, what I can do, and she will understand she can do anything. And also for my son to see how strong women can be, and he will respect women. So I don't give a fuck. It's like people are like, it's a broken home. I'm like, it's broken when it's abusive, and the kids are very smart. They will see that. And my son will grow up and become an asshole. Like, oh, women are just like that, you know.
And I can treat somebody like that, and she'll stay.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, leading by example is the best way to parent.
Yeah,
just
I think it'll be fine.
They'll be fine. When did you start doing stand up? Throughout all this,
I started less than 4 years ago.
Damn.
Yeah, after my son and John Singleton at the audition for his TV show, he convinced me to do it, but I didn't do it right away.
Okay.
But I started doing it because I want my career, and my acting is not happening because of my accent. It's just. I got closer to a role, but then because of my accent, they just can't give it to me. It became something I know I have to have a career. So, and I was advised to do stand up.
Yeah, and you're in charge of it.
It worked out.
Yeah, you're in charge of what you say. You're in charge of how you look. Like there's nobody telling you what the fuck to do with stand up.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and you can also have control because as an actor, you wait for the audition. As a stand-up, you can do. I bought a club at the moment I started stand-up because I want to get on stage more, and that's also what happens when you don't marry for love. You don't marry for love. You can buy clubs.
Wow.
I bought 2 clubs. I was on stage every night, every day, 10 hours a day. 10 hours a day.
You're paving your own fucking way.
I know.
That's amazing.
I want that on that should be on a shirt. When you don't marry for love, you can buy 2 clubs.
Yes.
I really like that.
Yeah,
Holy
right?
shit.
Yeah.
That's a song. That's
the benefit, right? One of the benefit you have when you don't marry for love.
Do you still have the clubs?
I have one. I had 2, one in Pasadena, one in Hollywood. And now I kept the one in Hollywood because my touring gets so demanding. I'm just touring all over the country. It's hard to manage. Even though people work for you, I have like 20 people working, but still you have to oversee everything.
Yeah.
I don't have the energy for it. And it's just, I decided to just keep the one in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Flagship on Melrose. It's really,
that's amazing.
Really cool. It's
Holy
very busy.
shit.
I love it.
What a badass move.
Thank you.
Just buy your own fucking club. Ain't nobody
that.
tell you can't get stage time. That's so cool. Are you dating here in America?
I'm seeing somebody, yes, a American guy, and he's sweet. He's 37, which is like how much older? 4 years older than me.
Okay. Yeah, it's a
single dad.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Okay, so you have that in common. How is
Is he a
dating-
comic though?
No.
Okay,
I
good.
would,
Good for
yeah,
you.
I would never.
Good. I just want to make sure that you were safe.
I'm fucking this
Yeah,
career
thank
up.
you. Thank you. Oh God. It's very funny because I have people talking shit about me because they were like Jiaoying Summers own the club so she can fuck all the comedians coming to do the shows. Like,
Ew, what?
So
no
she
one's
can
ever had that idea ever in the history of comedy.
I'm like, the only time I'm fucking somebody is for my own career. Trust me.
Yeah, it's to climb a ladder, but it's not to get on the stage.
I've never heard of anyone making any sort of plan to fuck a comic.
Yeah, so like they can fuck me and get on my open mic. Like that's fucked up.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Wow.
What other things have you noticed? Like the difference, like because when you were in China, like dating was dating similar to here?
Oh, I only thought I dated one boy in middle school, and then he I wrote him a love poetry, and he said that you are too ugly for me.
Jesus Christ!
If you are, I would date you if your skin's lighter. That's what he told me.
Jesus.
It's so weird because you're hot.
You're so hot.
It's so sweet. It's traumatizing.
Well, you
so I
probably-
never had a Chinese boyfriend in China. I came here when I was 18. I went to Kentucky for college.
Oh, you're 15 in Kentucky.
I know.
My God.
Like I never knew. Like I
princess
was
of
hot in
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
So wait, that's an interesting thing for your psychology, though. I imagine as a woman, because like, you know, once like at least for me growing up, and you're kind of like, oh wait, my looks are a commodity. They're like a power. So you experienced that when you moved here, but before then it was just so the polar opposite. You're getting bullied by how you
Yeah.
look. How is that? How is dealing with that complete switch?
It's really crazy. When I just came here, I was still ugly because I was wearing glasses. I was just slouching around, hiding myself because, you know, when you don't have confidence, like you just literally want to hide yourself.
Yeah.
Behind the glasses, I tried to cover my face. I was just a mess. And I was tutoring math at school, just making extra money. And then I met a girl who's the model.
In Kentucky.
Yeah.
So,
So she just started trying to like clean me up. Just like you can wear contact lenses. You can show your face.
yeah.
And then
stand up straight, girl.
yeah, stand up straight, don't slouch. You slouch because you want to make yourself smaller so people
Yeah.
don't see you because you are told that you're ugly.
Yeah.
And so I just
So this is like a 90s rom-com like happens to
Really?
you in
Yeah.
real life.
yeah, I literally just start having people telling me you are pretty, and eventually I felt the first time the power of being a girl, a pretty
Yeah.
girl. I never had that power. That's why it also made me funny because I was so ugly in China, and I had to be very funny and very smart to make any friends. All the guys talk to me because I do their homework. Like that's the only time they talk to me.
Oh, you have to bring some sort of skill.
Yeah, but they love me
it's not
because I do
your
their
face.
homework.
Sure.
Right.
They will always talk to me and be my friends, but like that's because, and then I have to be funny because that's how you get attention when you are not attractive.
Right.
This is so
Develop a
funny to me
personality.
because no one thought I was pretty, and I just go, these idiots are wrong. And I was walking around my whole school, I was like, these people are so stupid.
Blind
And then I got
motherfuckers.
to college, and I was like, I knew I was hot. I knew I was hot the whole time.
Yeah.
I knew the whole time.
When they peak in high school, it's bad.
Yeah.
When you peak in middle
Yeah.
school, high school,
Yo, yeah.
you'll be like
Peaking in middle school is real bad because that just means your nose hasn't fully grown in yet.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a bummer.
Oh,
Yeah, you want to peak in like your 30s and 40s, honestly.
Yeah, I
feel
think
like
so.
because 20s is also like wasted. Like you're like, I don't know what's happening.
I'm gonna be blackout drunk most of that time. So
Yeah. So you moved here and Kentucky was your first.
Yeah, I went
place
there for college.
Jesus, how's Kentucky? Have I been there? Have you been there?
I've
think
been
I
there.
have.
I've been there, but it was not with you. So
Okay.
I
Yeah, I don't think I have.
think so.
yeah, you are not missing out.
Yeah, that's what I would have gathered. But you know, I don't
I
know.
just wanted to come here. I wanted to become an actress. I also
Okay.
want just come to this country. And then my mother didn't help me. She didn't want me to come here.
Why
so I had
not?
to apply.
Because she knew you were gonna like fucking spread your wings and fly and be your own person.
I think that because I was, she wanted me to go to this very prestigious college in China, Peking University, which I was good with school, and she thinking that would be the best thing that ever happened to an ugly girl. Is like you go to the best school,
Right.
and you can really get a good
Jesus, your
career.
mom. Is she still this way to you?
Now she's better. She after my divorce, I had to get her, flew her in. I mean, moved her from China to America to help with the kids because she's young. She's
Okay.
53.
Oh shit, she is.
She's gonna
young.
torture me for 50 years. You know.
Oh, okay.
And so and we kind of reconnected. Thank God.
nice. Yeah.
Nobody think it was possible. There's 3 years in my life we could not talk. It was just not healthy for us to speak.
Right. You're right. But
And she had an awakening in China.
Wow.
And
wow.
I decided to make it work, and we really was able to talk and reconnect. And now
it's-
she's my best friend.
holy shit.
Yeah, she's helping with the kids. It's like we are a team, you know.
And she respects you and is not unkind to you like that.
She saw me. She saw me at first time she saw me doing a show at the Asia Society in California. She was sitting at the same table with Lisa Ling, and then
Whoa.
and I said, "Mom, that's Lisa Ling." She's like, "Lisa who?" I'm like, "That
she
was
didn't
my
know.
career in Hollywood."
Yeah.
But Lisa was so nice to her. She ordered her extra fish. My mom was like,
That's
"Thank you."
nice.
They were cute. So she saw I made people laugh. Even like people like she was just very impressed that I was able to do that in a second language, and she started respecting me.
Wow.
To understand that I mean, she wasn't supporting me doing stand-up. She was
Right.
supporting me to come to America. She wasn't supporting me about most of my life decisions.
Yeah.
And still I was able to make a living. So she and I just reconnected, and she decided to help me.
Yeah.
And now my mom is helping me full time.
Wow.
We have a maid, but I can't leave my kids to the maid, you know. Maybe
Yeah. Well, it's their
she'll
grandma
tell them.
too. Yeah.
My mom, mainly my daughter, my son, I don't know. He's not really, my daughter is very smart. She's not a nice person, but she's very smart.
Maybe that's why she's not a nice person, because she's smart and she fucking
She's
knows.
smart. Yeah, she
She
knows it.
fucking knows people's
Girls are
intentions.
just smarter, I think.
yeah, I agree.
Are your mom and dad still together, or
My father has been alcoholic his whole life because
okay.
he's so good looking, and he just did not need to work, and he was just lazy, but he's very smart. But now I think because I think I just really worked hard and choose a way of my life that I really built everything from the beginning,
Yeah.
and then I made things happen. And then my father just he didn't want to. When people ask me, is that your daughter? He's like, yeah. He's like, well, I don't want to bring shame to you, because I'm proud of you, and I don't want to be the drunk dad. So he stopped drinking so much, and he became really great, and their marriage just worked again.
Holy shit.
No.
You like came and saved your family.
I think so.
After
I
your
can be
family
the
just
victim.
bullied you.
I mean, my life would be much better if I'm a drunk whore, but I decided to just like save things.
yeah.
Because I just know that it's so easy for me to be the victim. It's so easy.
It is, and
will
but
be
it's like,
so easy.
where's that
Yeah.
going to get you, really?
Yeah.
I mean, but at the same time, it's like, you know, you have to grieve the you know, feelings that you have, but then you move on from that.
Yeah, I have to confront them and talk through everything, and I felt that. I think I'm just the example of an Asian woman, like from the very beginning of your life is granted, and then everything you do for the rest of your life is to make your parents proud and to be a service of your husband and contribute your whole life to make sure your kids have a good life. That's what the definition of a good woman. And I wanted to make sure that people stop becoming victim to this very sick, disgusting thing of try to control us, you know.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do it my way.
Yeah, and lead by
still-
example.
Yeah, still.
Because people need to know that it's possible. And
Yeah.
they need to witness this attitude that you have about your circumstances and how you kind of power through
Yeah,
them.
and still love yourself and live your dream, and you know, be close to your parents and make them proud, and give your kids a good life.
Yeah.
Without giving up your identity. It's just like
Right.
killing yourself inside. Every woman I know in China, or not even in China, here, they just wanted to be good, you know, just to take care of other people,
Yeah.
just not to disappoint people.
Yeah.
And
yeah, and to
then
be as
they are
perfect
miserable.
as they can in every way.
Yeah.
And that's all the expenditure of energy on things that don't actually matter. And then
Yeah.
you're like, wait a second, I've been wasting all this gas just in terms of like what I'm capable of on shit that isn't going to propel me forward.
Yeah, well, after I have 2 babies, my pussy just snapped back. I'm like, I'm not wasting this good pussy on this garbage. I need a new life, and I deserve a new beginning. I want to be, I have to be worthy of this good pussy. Like, it's rare.
so?
That's great.
Do you think the culture in China is changing at all about like what it means to be a good woman? Do you think it's progressing at all?
It is, and it's not. It's like how people of color is treated. Yes, of course, but then no. In China, there's so many women because we have the equal opportunity now to get education, and there's a lot of women that are very extraordinary, but they are known as the dragon ladies. And still in China, after you are 25, in the dating market, you are expired. Like you are
25.
like the whole Chinese dating market is like Leonardo DiCaprio, like 25, you are done, bitch.
You're done. Yeah.
You are expired like a can of tuna fish.
Wow.
It is done. And they still call it 剩女. 剩 means leftover. 女 means woman. So if you are over 25, still single, you are considered leftover woman. It's getting better is because now you can be 28 and be the leftover.
Oh, wow.
So it's
you were
just
afforded a couple more years. Do the men react that? Well, like, do the men kind of feed into that attitude as well? Like, or are there some men that, because like in America, like, God, the shitty men are so exhaustingly shitty and terrible. The good, but there's a lot of good ones, right? So it's like, you know, you see it kind of shines through of like a lot of men that not a lot of men that we interact with, but in the world or in America at least, they're like, you know, they recognize the sexist attitudes. Is there like are there men in China that recognize like that's fucked up and I don't abide by that, so I don't care if you're 32 and single?
There are men, I think, who's high educated and who was raised by a good mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, like every mom is good, but a mom who have self-respect. Those kind of men, they actually would respect a woman more. Or when they have a daughter, they have a connection with their daughter. I think those kind of men, they respect women the way we deserve to respect. Like that's why, you know, as a woman, I want to raise my son with my backbone because it's important for him to not be a toxic little shit.
So it's so important.
Yeah.
And then one of the ways that we could change the world is like, and not to put the onus on moms, but it's moms and dads or whoever's raising the fucking kid to raise boys to respect women. I feel like that's like the domino effect of that is going to be immense. And it seems like it's finally starting to happen. Do you still have friends in China, like female friends that like are still indoctrined into this like expiration date and cultural expectations? That you're like, girl, you don't have to be like this.
Yeah, most girls, they are mom now and their job is basically just like sacrifice their career so they can be service of the family. If they make more money, like the way they are not, just people just hate them. Like, oh, you are the woman, why don't you stay home? And that's your job to stay home and take care of the kids.
Is it hard for you to be friends with a female who's like still under that spell of
it's hard. It's hard for me whenever they complain about things that I know they can't change it because I can't listen to it. I'm like, oh, he's cheating on me with this woman. I'm like, leave him.
Yeah,
right. Like, but I don't have money. I'm like, go back to work.
Yeah.
But my kids pay for childcare.
Yeah.
Find a nanny. But I'm scared. I'm scared too.
Yeah.
I may live under this bridge tomorrow. No, I won't. But but you know, I'm scared. But it's a thrill. I came to America by myself. You know, I was okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm an older woman. Like I'm 33. I was 18. I was okay.
Yeah.
And I'm 33. I have so much power, so much wisdom under my belt. Like I can do anything. Those two kids, they are not a burden to me. You know.
Right.
They inspire me to do more.
Right. Damn. You're doing it right. You really are good at picking yourself up and making sure that you plow through really difficult moments. Like how are you there for yourself? Like what do you tell yourself? Because I can't imagine there haven't been moments where you're like, fuck this. Like what the fuck? Like you're just exhausted.
Yeah. I think when I just I was trying to go back to China and to fight for more you know, child care money and like spousal support and like to get some of my husband's net worth.
Yeah, because he has all that dough. Jesus.
Yeah, but it's just like it's so toxic. And flying back to China, go to the court for 6 months and not working for that long, I can't do it because when I met him, I was well-to-do. I just gave up my career, so I could just because he's gonna take care of me. He's you know, older and wealthy. Yeah. But I realized like I can't do it. I should just walk out this with nothing. And then, you know, I signed over the bank accounts and everything. And I would just, you know, that's the moment you talk about. I'm like, oh God. So there's no savings left. All the money I make every month goes to my overhead. I can afford it right now, but like, what do I do?
It's going to expire. It's going to run out.
Yeah. And I was just laying in bed crying. It was last week. My son, he came to my room. My mom gave him my coffee in the morning and he was walking slowly with the hot coffee. Aww. He's like, shh. He's shushing the coffee. You think that's like
so cute.
Don't be hot. Shh. Yeah. So he think being loud and being hot is the same thing.
That's adorable.
I'm like, I saw that. I start crying. I'm like, oh my God, he's a dumb little shit. I got to pick myself up and make some money because my son will never get laid. He's an Asian man shish the coffee. Like he's not gonna make it. I need to make sure I make a lot of money. He's going to private school so we can get laid. I got up and I went to work.
Yeah, my son's gonna get
I'll
pussy
take care
when
of
he
you.
gets older.
Yeah. Just in pussy.
Humor will make people survive the craziest fucking
I
circumstances.
think so.
Seriously.
I just you know, I know at the very beginning that was the end of my marriage. I knew that when I started doing open mic, I come home, my husband would fight with me, argue with me every time I come home late. And 10 p.m. like I leave, I go back to after 3 mics, I come back, you know, 11:40. Makeup and like he with my makeup and perfume, and he just like, do you know what kind of woman come home late like this?
Fun ones.
The prostitutes and the whores, the hookers. I was like, I am the love of your life. I'm the mother of your children.
Sure.
I'm like, that's not okay to call me a whore because that's not right because the whores bring home money. I pay $5 for the open mic.
Yeah, I got a beer and a 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he saw you just like you're finding yourself and gaining power. And then so he was like, I have to neg this woman and make her feel like less.
Chip away at her. Try my best to chip away at her.
I bought a club. I'm just in the club all day. I'm like, so I don't have to see my husband. I just stay in the club. And I just know I either have to make my career happen or I'm going to stay in this marriage forever because I am not about to leave this marriage without the kids.
Right.
I want to take those kids and take care of them.
Yeah.
And they can
They're
live with
way
me.
better hands with you, my God.
Yeah. So, but I don't have money. I can't do it. I don't have a career. I can't do it. So I can't just go find another rich guy. He's not going to give up my children. You know, if you have kids, you're going to take care of them. So I worked so hard. I'm on stage 10 hours a day. And then pandemic came, I was just posting 5 TikTok videos of my new jokes every day until I blow up on TikTok so I can come back and then, you know, selling tickets. And I did the best I can to be able to walk out from this.
How is, I feel like I know the answer to this, but like, how do you have sex with a man you don't respect?
We don't have sex anymore after I found out like he's just such a narcissist.
Yeah, he was revealing his character to you.
It was becoming hard. But at the beginning, I fell in love with him because they are charming. You know,
He's so charming.
Yeah,
it's really annoying.
He's very handsome. He's very fit. He's very successful, and he's very charming. I just fell in love with him. I really did.
So you had like a good, healthy sex life.
Then I found
with
he's
him.
very rich. I'm like, okay, we're getting married.
Yeah. Did you have a discussion before you got married about like what you were looking for from the marriage?
Oh my God.
Anything like that?
Yes. Actually, he was actually hiding his money from me at the beginning. He didn't want me to love him for his money, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, you're like, oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
When I was dumb home. I said, I'm the kind of woman, I would love to have a career and I work very hard and I left home early and I don't want you to take care of me. But it's nice to know that if I fail, I have a nice house, a nice family, nice life. He's like, I'll support you. And in China, he even invested like $5 million for a movie for me to be in. But he has to be the person who produces it and he's in control over it. And if I do that movie, I'm in debt of everything to him. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like he doesn't love you.
Yeah.
He loves you, and there's a condition that you are not gonna do it without him.
Right.
You can't do anything without him.
Right. That's a narcissist trademark.
Yeah. And you know, and I actually couldn't do it because in China, this is a movie about a girl who is from the USA, went to the US for college, and she came back and take her family's business, and she speak English, and they think my skin was too dark, and then they want me to do the treatment.
Treatment? What treatment?
It's like the
skin
IV
whitening,
treatment, skin whitening, IV treatment. You get lighter.
They inject you with something?
Like it's like IV treatment. You just do it. With
God.
your treatment. I tried to do it, but I couldn't do it. I feel like I'm a fraud because
it's not who you are. That's not how you.
if I make it, I'm gonna get all the girls to feel disgusting because they look like me. They have to bleach their skin and lose more weight.
Yeah.
And they want me to lose way more weight. And then I'm like, I can't talk. Like I'm tired. I'm hungry. They're like, there's a voiceover. Don't worry.
Wow.
So you don't have to act. You just have to be a skinny, fucking bleached asshole.
Holy
That's what you need to be
shit.
doing. It's fucked up. I'm like, no, I'm gonna go back to America and do the open mic. I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm
way
listening to John
better
Singleton.
choice.
I'm gonna go back there.
Yeah.
And that was kind of, he didn't want me to do that, but I just went back here and he followed me here, and then he just couldn't.
He couldn't take how you were blossoming.
He's like, you are just gonna go on straight to the open mic with the losers. I'm like, that's the only way to do it.
Yeah, that's how you make your way up into the career.
You can't buy a career here.
Yeah.
I mean, you can if you are an actress.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like
for sure.
you can't suck dick in comedy. It's not gonna,
right. I know no one's gonna
the
care.
dick is not
yeah.
gonna
I mean, you
help
can,
you.
but for
It
what
can't make
a
you funny.
spot? Yeah.
Yeah, a spot and you go on, you still bomb. Like
Yeah.
it's not. You have to go on stage, bum until you get good. So anyway, it just. Yeah, I had to have this career, especially now I have children now. It kind of gave me more motive to just, there's no plan B because I didn't take any.
Right. Because they're here.
Yeah, they're here. I mean, you can't kill them. It's not legal here.
Correct.
In America, you can't just like smother a child.
Right.
No.
Well, yeah. If you want that to happen, you just take them to school and then cross your fingers.
Yeah.
Wow. That's quite a heroic.
Let's talk
journey.
about dicks now.
Yeah, let's
I'm
talk
done.
about dicks. Yeah. So how, like sexuality, like how has your sexuality blossomed over your life since you've? Oh, you're bipolar.
Bipolar.
Okay. Are you also bisexual or are you straight?
I mean, I think pussy is beautiful, but I don't think I'm good at eating it. I think women are beautiful.
Yeah,
Have you tried eating pussy?
I haven't tried to eat a pussy. I love dicks. I
They're
love
pretty
dicks.
great.
I love dicks.
Do you like giving
Yeah.
blowjobs? If you're like,
If I love that guy,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you blowjobs.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna get blowjobs. I'm gonna blow. If I like that dick, I'll suck that dick.
Yeah.
Because if I don't like it, I don't care.
Yeah.
I could just put it away.
Yeah.
Put it away.
A dick can either be the grossest thing you've ever seen or the best part of your day.
Yeah.
It's truly
So
one of the
true.
other.
Oh my god, we are bonding now. Oh my god.
I feel the same way because I'm like,
Yeah.
boy, if I like you, run. Like
Yeah.
I will. Let's go.
Seeing a dick you don't want to see is definitely the worst part of your day.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I
yeah.
can't.
In the subway, you know.
Oh god.
Like, what's the most sexually adventurous thing you've done with a partner?
I mean, I think it was just like a dress up and like a
Yeah, like role play and stuff.
role play. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to recover from the mental abuse, but like gradually I'm just getting into very healthy relationship because when you are being with a narcissist for a long time and when something go wrong, you just without communication. Like my boyfriend would say something wrong. I mean, I start yelling, so he says something mean to me. I'm like, that's it. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Bye. I
We're
won't
done
talk to him for a
forever.
week. And then I'm like, that's not healthy.
Right. You have to communicate
Yeah.
and say like that was disrespectful or that made me feel XYZ because.
Yeah.
all
So
that
now I'm
stuff.
going back to therapy to
Yeah.
recover from the trauma.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's
I
great.
love
It's
sex though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Sex
I'm
is
just
great.
very sexual.
Yeah.
For me, if I'm in love, we're having sex. I think like once a day is, it's
Yeah.
at least we should have sex once a day.
Yeah.
If you're like once a month, I'm like, what are you
yeah,
doing?
that's
Is that
tough.
period? Like what is?
Have you ever been with a guy who had a lower sex drive than you?
I think so.
How'd you handle it? Or how'd you?
I just don't know what to
Give him
say.
a look. You're like, ugh.
I don't know what to say. I'm just like, you better
What's
change.
your
or
problem?
We're gonna move on. Yeah, you better change because I can't do this.
This is not going to be it
Yeah.
for me. Have you broken up with somebody because they had a lower sex drive or
I didn't have a lot of boyfriends because I was just
busy?
a full time with my narcissist
Yeah.
ex. So I'm just really. I guess because I have low self worth and I really find work and accomplishment to balance me out from feeling like a loser. So
Yeah.
I really just kind of invest most of my time at work. And so my therapist is trying to help me with it because I don't feel accomplished whenever I achieve something. I'm like,
Oh, because you're doing it
okay.
for the reasons of like
it's
proving
the
you're
wrong
good.
reason. Yeah.
Right. What has been the most helpful piece of like advice or information or anecdote that you've been given that really did help you kind of make some progress with recovering from the narcissistic abuse?
I think because the narcissist abuse, their key thing is to remove your sense of self-worth.
Yeah.
That you know you are worth something, but eventually the conditioning and everything, you just for me, I just really find achievement to make myself feel like I'm not a complete loser.
Right.
And then my therapist is asking me, so how's it going? I said, oh, this video hit 5.1 million views and I sold out LPR in New York and I sold out to this show, that show, and this show. And I'm getting a new blah, blah deal. And she's like, no, that's all great. But how about you? I said, well, I could do better, but I'm not doing well. I mean, those are the things that happened. She goes, how about you? Like, how do you feel? I said, I feel like I'm just not done yet. I don't know what I can do to do better. She goes, how about how you feel? I said, okay. She's like, no, you're going to do a homework. You're going to write 5 things about you that is unique and that is special about you, about your heart and your soul. And
It had nothing to do with your accomplishments.
nothing to do. They're all good, but nothing to do with those things. And I was thinking about it. I said, I think I have a week to do it. And I realized like my resilience is one thing about me I love.
Yeah.
And my capability to love, even though that I've been betrayed and I wasn't loved the way I deserve.
Right.
I still want to love. I still don't want to play a game.
Yeah.
I just, and people use me because I'm just like that, but still, I'm not going to give up on who I am because they bully me and they didn't give me the thing I deserve. And because there's nothing greater than love. If you really open your heart,
I agree.
It's the best.
I agree. It is the best.
Yeah, when it happens.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
Your therapist seems to be really working. That was very
I think so.
insightful.
I love hearing good therapy stories because sometimes people are in therapy and they're telling you what their therapist says and they're like, I think she's just egging on your problem.
Yeah,
I don't think she's helping you.
Yeah.
But encouraging yourself to like look beyond your accomplishments is like
Yeah.
so key because like feeling like you have to do something to earn love, that'll fuck you up.
That is, so many people are with a narcissist. And for me, it's like I'm very strong and tough. Like to control me is like mentally control me would be the only way. If you hit me, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Like nobody hit me. Somebody hit my sister in school. I fucking broke her leg. It's
Oh,
like,
wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's just bullying. Like I don't understand. I know it. Because when somebody hit you, when I see somebody hit my friend, I would just like run, don't put up with it. But when it's mental abuse, it's like boiling lukewarm water and they increase the temperature slowly over the year. You really don't know what's happening.
It sneaks up on you. It's very perfect. It like
that is evil.
seeps into your psyche. I totally agree. It like seeps into your psyche in this way. And I'm always like because I have people who are narcissistic in my life that I don't talk. A lot of them I don't talk to anymore.
That's good. It's healthy.
But it's like for some reason I'm like, do they know they're doing it or do they not? But why? I don't know why that makes a difference in my head. But I'm like, they're really fucked up if they know they're doing it. But if they don't know they're doing it, I have sympathy. I don't know. That's always the
I think they
back and forth in my head.
They know, but they don't know it's bad.
Yeah.
They know they are smarter than us because they can get us to do things that they want us to do.
Yeah. Well, puppet master.
I really get you. I don't think they know it's bad.
Yeah.
They think it's just like somebody who steal. Like why do you have to work hard if you can just steal like me? Because I'm smart, I can steal money. People in the corporate, they steal a different way.
Yeah.
And they just look at us like you guys are stupid.
You're dumb for not doing that.
Yeah. And then they don't think they are wrong. They're like, I'm just smarter than you. Like a Trump, he lies to everybody. He still be the president. This system is like this. You are gonna play that way, dumb bitch. And I feel like that's narcissist. Like they know they are doing it, but they don't think this is bad.
Yeah, because I'm like, if it makes me feel powerful and it gets me ahead, why wouldn't you do it? You know, like why wouldn't everybody do it? Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I'm being crazy, but
No, it has to be. It makes sense.
I don't think like the way they do it so natural. It's like, how do you know you're hurting me? You just keep doing it like nobody.
Right.
Nothing's happening.
One of the things with narcissism though is like when you can't. And I read so many books about it because before I knew what that word meant, I just thought that like. You just internalize the bullying that's happening. And like you said, it seeps in. It's not just if you punch me in the face, I very clearly know that that's wrong. But if you do like a slight little passive aggressive thing about my looks or about how I'm behaving, I'm like, wait a second, what? It's confusing. And that's being confused is it's obviously it's a mind fuck.
Yeah, and the tough love from the parents can really be familiar. Like my mom tell me I should lose weight, and because she care about me, I'm getting fat and I'm getting bullied. And like my husband think I should not be eating rice because he want to make sure I go back to my normal way. Like he said I look ugly in yellow. Maybe I am. Like he think I look ugly with glasses. Maybe I do. Yeah. So I should get LASIK. Like
right.
I think it's like when you have very tough parenting and you mistake the tough love.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they tell you that that's what it is. And you're like, well, you're my mom and dad. Why would you lie to me? Why would you do anything against my best interests? Yeah. Shit, man.
Oh, wow. Okay, I know you wanted to talk about dicks, but I had a question about stand-up comedy in China. Is there a stand-up comedy scene in China? What is it like?
Recently, I think 5 years ago, Zhao, the Chinese comedian, he brought it back. And China has this art form, xiangsheng, but it's 2 person.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like but stand-up comedy is new in China, and I've never did it in China because I moved here. I started here.
Yeah.
I can't keep my whole mouth shut. I'm not about getting in trouble in China.
Also, okay. You get in trouble for it.
Yeah, I'm very political and I don't give a fuck. I don't censor myself. Whoever is being a piece of shit, I'm gonna talk about it. I don't care. I don't want to police nobody. I just tell the truth, and I'm not gonna be okay.
So
that's true because in a lot of the other countries, stand-up comedians kind of like regularly get arrested.
So what are the repercussions for telling the truth about a political figure who
You disappear.
know? Oh, like jail
Like
or
in
die?
North Korea, like you would be in a concrete
Right.
Yeah.
thing. Yeah,
Jesus.
What kind of things can't you talk? Like I can't imagine like a woman talking about sex would go over super well.
I don't think people just they don't like women being outspoken and about anything. Of course, sex is just that's why like the success of Ali Wang is just so amazing in America because Asian women, like just talking is like wow, talking about sex is just revolutionary to do that.
And talking about sex while pregnant.
Yeah,
That's
it's
one up
big,
you.
not just for Asian women. It's just for all women, and
Yeah.
I think she really opened the door for
Yeah.
me, so I can talk about more than sex. I can talk about politics. I can talk about abortion. I can talk about everything. I just see myself as a comedian who happened to be a woman with an accent.
Right.
But I think of myself as an American comedian, and I'm very proud to be able to do it in America. America let me do it, and I can really say anything.
Yeah, that is like when I travel the world and stuff, and I'm like, America it's disappointing in so many ways with the school shootings and the races. It's just there's so many things, and the abortion rights being taken away. But then you think about when you zoom back out, and you're like, wow, you can literally get fucking buried in concrete if you talk about your sexuality. You're like, all right, yeah, America's not too bad.
Yeah, I think America, the one thing good about it is like we can talk about what's wrong.
Yeah.
And in other countries, you can't say women can't have an abortion is wrong. Here, like we can, we have, we should have control over our body.
Yeah.
Like we fucking should. And and I really just, I think it's also so backward. You think America is so advanced, and then there's states, if you are raped, you have to keep the baby.
Yeah, that is a death sentence. That is terrible.
What is bodily autonomy like in China for women?
It's very free.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, they just whatever, like whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, with your body, you can have abortion whenever you want.
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, with the one child policy that was enacted,
It was like the
that's-
90s. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure
Now,
they were
now
like,
they want more
abortions.
kids. Yeah,
They're on sale.
yeah.
You
That's
know, like
one
encouraging.
thing cool about China is like 15 years ago, one of the most famous TV show hosts is a transgender woman.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Transgender woman.
Yeah.
Nice.
Her name is Jing. She's outspoken. She was a man, a beautiful man, and then she transitioned into a woman, and she is. She was one of the
Beloved?
biggest beloved. Everybody loves her. They know she's transgender. They didn't give a fuck.
Oh,
And that's what's one thing about like in America, people try to use religion to control people because
yeah.
they are insecure. All of these Republican senators, they are gay, but they are afraid
Yeah.
to be gay.
Yeah.
And so they hate everybody. They hate women. They hate transgender. They hate gay people.
Anybody who can be themselves.
Yes,
Is the enemy.
and that's the one thing cool about China. Like, oh, I thought about it. I'm like, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unexpected too.
Yeah, and it's really like the woman. Obviously, she's ahead of her time, and I love. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a woman like that.
Yeah. That's
But-
badass.
Yeah, and
It's so interesting to see how different societies, different countries, different cultures, they have all these, every society you could say has like these areas where they're really advanced and you're like, oh shit, fuck yeah. And then there's just also at the same time existing, just awful backwards bullshit. So
yeah, like in Russia, like you can't talk about being gay.
right.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Russia's pretty fucked.
Fuck.
That's amazing. Well, thank you for being on the show.
my God,
Where
thank
can
you
we
for
find
having
you
me.
online? What would you like to promote? What's your social media? Where can we
Thank
get more
so
of you?
much. Jiaoying Summers everywhere. JIAOYING SUMMERS, and I have a website where I have a national tour. I'll be back to New York City. April 26th, New York Comedy Club, April 27th, Stanford, Connecticut, and April 23rd I'll be in San Francisco, and then I'm all over the place. I'm coming all over America.
Yay! We're so happy
Thank
you're
you.
here.
Well, thank you for coming
having me,
here, coming all over our studio. We
I would
appreciate
love
it.
to.
This has been Guys We Fucked, the anti-slut shaming podcast. We'll talk to you next Friday.
That was so great.